my English classroom. I'm your English teacher, Sheikh Rafi. Today in this video, I'm going to start the second unit from your textbook. The title of the unit given is The Snake Catcher. Dear students, in this unit you have two readings. The first is a lesson, The Snake Catcher, and the second is a poem, The Coromandel Fishers. So let us start the very first lesson. Before entering into the lesson, I just want to know how many of you have seen the film Jurassic Park. The very greatest creation of Spielberg, and the film was worldwide acclaimed to be a very super hit movie. And if you remember the storyline of the movie, a scientist, he creates a great creature called dinosaur. At the very beginning of the movie, we find that it is really entertaining, very interesting to watch. But as the movie goes on, by the end of the film, we see the disaster created by those animals. Children, here what we have to understand is we should always think before we act. We should always think before we act. Here we have one such story, the snake catcher, who for his own curiosity, who for making more money, goes on catching a snake, which ultimately creates a great disaster in the city. So let us start the lesson. I want all of you to open your textbook at page number 17. So you will see they have given a pre-reading activity there. They have given a picture. Look at the following picture and answer the questions that follow. And if you look at the picture very carefully, you will find you can see a house, and in front of the house the family members are sitting, grandparents are there, parents and their children are there. But most important thing you will notice is that they are all surrounded by number of pet animals. You can see some birds, you can see a cow, you can see dogs, you can see hens, etc. So a lot of things are there. So let us see what are the questions that are given under this picture. First question is, do you have any pets at your house as shown in the picture? Now this is a question for all of you. Do you have pets at your home? Many people do have. People generally have dogs, cats, parrots, birds, different types of birds, etc. as pets at their home. I hope you will also be having one such pet. Second question is, are you comfortable with them? Definitely we are very comfortable with them. We love those pet animals. Third question, do you treat them in a friendly manner? Of course, we treat them in a very, very friendly manner. And not to be surprised, in some of the families you can notice that these pet animals, they become the members of the family. Right? They love them so much. They are really comfortable and they are really very friendly with those pet animals. And final question is, if you find any strange animals, will you go near them? No, not at all. We never go near to any unknown animals because humans are a bit afraid. We are afraid to go and see the strange animals. We always maintain distance from the animals which we don't know. Right? So with that briefing, let us enter into the lesson. I want all of you to look at page number 18. The name of the lesson, The Snake Catcher. So let us begin with understanding the title of the lesson, The Snake Catcher. You know what a snake is. Now, who is a snake catcher? A person who catches the snakes. We in India call them as snake charmers. Now, why do these people catch snake? It is their livelihood. They catch the snake, they keep it in a basket, they will go from village to village, town to town, to all the public places, and they will display the snakes to the people. Even the snake charmers, what they do, they take a flute and they keep on playing a tune and the snake dances to the tune. It is really amusing. People watch it eagerly, enthusiastically. And once the show is over, the people give some money to the snake charmer or the snake catcher. In this way, these snake catchers, they make money, they survive, they earn their livelihood. So that is a snake catcher. So let us see the story here. the snake catcher. Once there was a man in Iraq. Now Iraq is a country in the Middle East. So once there was a man in Iraq. He was a snake catcher. He caught different kinds of snakes and let them dance in bazaars as it was his livelihood. So as I told you, we find the same thing here in the lesson. The man was a snake catcher, and what did he do with the snakes? He used to make them dance in bazaars. Now dancing means not like humans. They all keep it in baskets and they play the flute, and the snake dances to the tunes of the flute. So he used to make them dance in bazaar as it was his livelihood. Now what is livelihood? Livelihood means any activity that people do for surviving. For example, your parents may be working in an office, right? So the work that he does in his office is his livelihood. For example, I am a teacher. Teaching is my livelihood. I teach, I earn money, and I survive. So teaching is my livelihood. Some person may be a businessman, so business will be his livelihood. Some person may be a vegetable vendor, so for him selling vegetables is his livelihood. So whatever activity you do for survival, it is called livelihood. So for the snake catcher, showing the dance of the snake in the bazaar and earning money was his livelihood. As the days went on, it became very common to the town people. They lost interest in those street performances. Hence, the snake catcher decided to go into the cold and snowy mountains in search of new kinds of snakes. Now you can see the story building up here. People in the city in Iraq, they lost their interest in seeing the snakes because it had become very common. Every day they used to see the same snakes. So they were not showing interest in seeing the dance of the snakes. So what will happen? The snake catcher was not getting enough money. So that is why the snake catcher decided, what he decided? That he will go into the cold and snowy mountains in search of new kinds of snakes. Cold and snowy mountains. Snowy mountains means mountains which are totally covered with ice, snow, right? It's really, really cold. And he went there in search of new kinds of snakes. Maybe if he brings new kinds of snakes, people will again start showing interest in his performance. So he went there. And what he did, see there, he wanted to display them to the town people and thereby raise a few coppers from the large crowd. Now that is the purpose. He wanted to catch different types of snakes, bring it to the bazaar and show it to the people. They have given a word, display. Display means showing something to the people. So he wanted to display them to the town people and thereby raise a few coppers. Now here coppers refers to money, it's currency. In ancient time we used to have coins made of copper. So that is why it is called as coppers. So he wanted to raise a few coppers from the large crowd. So for this purpose he goes to the snowy mountains. So what he finds there, see they have given a picture there, beautiful picture. See the next paragraph. Foolish man that he was, he searched through the snowy mountains. He found a terrible and fierce looking dragon which seemed quite dead from cold, but it was dormant in state. Now you have to understand very carefully this sentence. Foolish man that he was. Now here the snake catcher is called foolish. He was a fool. Why he was a fool? Because he found a terrible means ferocious, something which is very deadly or dangerous. So he found a terrible and fierce looking, some things which look very dangerous, right? Deadly. We call terrible something which creates terror or that makes us afraid. So he found a terrible and fierce looking dragon, not a snake. Dragon also looks like a snake, but dragon has wings and it has a long tail. You would have seen in most of Chinese films, right? Dragon is a very important animal in China. So he found a terrible and fierce looking dragon which seemed quite dead from cold, but it was in dormant state. Now this foolish snake charmer, the snake catcher, he found the dragon there. Now how was the dragon? The dragon was dormant. Dormant means inactive. Why it was inactive? Because of cold. Because of cold, it was lying there inactive, dormant, and this foolish snake catcher thought that it was dead. So what he did? So he looked at it. It was a big and looked attractive in golden yellow color. He bundled up the cold creature in a cloth. So he bundled up the snake, the dragon, in a cloth and tied it up with a string. String means a rope. He tied it with a string. See what is he doing? Is the dragon dead? No, the dragon is alive. It is only dormant. Why is it dormant? Because of cold. So he took a cloth and he bundled up the dragon in the cloth. He tied it with a string and carried it down to the town. He was dreaming that this mighty dragon would change his fate. Right? It was his dream. He was dreaming that this dragon is going to change his fate. Fate means fortune. Right? He is going to make a lot of money. So what he did? He was dreaming that this mighty dragon would change his fate. People would admire his brave act and treat him in a ceremonial way. So that was his dream. He thought that people will praise him. They will admire him for what he has done. He might get a lot of money so that he could lead a luxurious life. Now that was all the dream of the snake catcher. He wanted to make a lot of money by showing this creature to the people in the town. So what happens next? See the next page, page number 19. He reached a bazaar in the town. Look, he shouted out to the town people, look what I have brought. With great difficulty and untiring search from the mountains. Come and see this terrible and fierce looking dragon which I have killed. Now that is what the snake catcher was doing. He came to the town, he went in the middle of the bazaar and he started shouting to the people, come, come, come all of you, see what I have brought from the mountains. What I have brought from the mountains. Look at this terrible and fierce looking dragon which I have killed. Now the question is, had the snake catcher really killed the dragon? No. The dragon was not dead. It was simply dormant, inactive. Why? Because of cold, because of snow in the snowy mountains. So what happens when he announces? The town people who came from far and near looked eagerly at it. People were eager. People started showing interest. They were eager. They were enthusiastic. They rallied around the dragon. All the people started standing around the dragon, and the crowd grew so thick that people jostled against each other. The crowd grew. Lots and lots of people came to see the dragon, and they were pushing each other to see it. This pushing is called jostled. It is called jostled. The people jostled against each other, all craning their necks. Craning means stretching. When we want to see something in among the people, what we do? We stretch our neck, we pull our neck. It is called craning. All craning their necks to catch a glimpse of that fierce and terrible dragon. They wanted to catch a glimpse. Glimpse means sight. They wanted to see the dragon. They were really astonished. People were surprised. Astonished means surprised. They were really astonished. They had never seen such a strange creature. It was bigger than any snake they had ever seen before. Now see here. What the snake catcher wanted to do is achieved. Snake catcher wanted to make the people interested in his activity, that is showing the snakes, and now he was able to get the attention of the people in the town. Now see, there comes another change. In the town, the sun grew hotter, and by the warmth of its rays, the dragon began to emerge slowly from its frozen state. What is happening? The dragon is emerging from its frozen state. What is frozen state? The dragon is freezed because of cold. Right? It has become inactive because of cold. It is not actually dead. It has only become dormant. Now, because it was in the middle of the town and there was a good heat, temperature, the sun was there, it started slowly emerging. Emerging means coming out of the dormant state. And what happened? It had not been dead at all. The dragon was not dead at all, but merely frozen without movement. But now it was slowly coming back, right? It was slowly emerging out of the dormant state. Slowly, the dragon in the bundle started moving. Soon it burst forth from the cloth and string that had been tied around it. So it came, it bursted, it teared the cloth which was used to bundle it. The string was broken, the rope was broken with which it was tied. Why? Because it's a very mighty animal. It's a very mighty animal. So when the dragon did, what happened? What was the reaction of the people? The town people were filled with terror at the sight of the fierce dragon. The people were filled with terror. All were afraid. They could not believe what was going on. People could not believe what was going on. The snake catcher said that he had killed the dragon, but that dragon came back from the dead as it was. So now this is what is happening. People thought that it was dead. The snake catcher said that he had killed the dragon, but now the people were seeing the dead creature was coming alive. So what happens? They ran away from it in panic, crushing each other as they fled. So people started running here and there to save their lives. They were running in panic. What is panic? Panic means when you are totally full of fear, you don't know what to do, and you simply run to save your life. That condition, that situation is called panic. They ran away from it in panic, crushing each other as they fled. Shrieks filled the street. Shrieks. What is shrieks? Shrieks means loud cries. People shout to save their life. Run, run, save your life. People started shouting. No, these loud shouts, these loud cries are called as shrieks. Though the entire street was full of shrieks. The dragon, mighty serpent that it was, devoured whoever was in its path. Whoever was in its path. When the dragon stood up, whoever came in its path, it simply devoured him. Devoured means eating. It simply ate. Eating is called devoured, right? For example, if you go to a birthday party and your friend offers you a cake, piece of cake, what you will do? You will devour the entire cake in a single gulp. Okay, now that is called devouring. So the dragon, the mighty serpent that it was, devoured whoever was in its path, and finding a pillar. There was a pillar, you can see there in the picture. Finding a pillar, entwined itself around it. Entwined means curling or twisting. It curled itself around it, eating alive the man who thought he had easily captured a terrible and fierce looking dragon. What did the dragon do finally? It ate the same man who had caught it. Who caught the dragon? The snake catcher. So when the dragon saw the man, it devoured the man also. So what did it do? It entwined itself around it, eating alive the man who thought he had easily captured a terrible and fierce looking dragon. So the snake catcher thought that he had caught it very easily, but no, it wasn't like that. So the dragon finally kills the man who had caught him. So that is how the lesson ends, children, and it gives a very, very important moral that we should always think the pros and cons before doing anything. We should have the calculations. How far is it going to work out? Whether it is safe for us, whether it is safe for others or not. If we don't think, then if we are bound to do such things which may create a disaster, not only for the person but for all others. So that was all about the story The Snake Catcher. Children, the lesson gives a beautiful moral that we should always think before acting. So think and do. That will definitely give you good results. I hope all of you enjoyed the lesson. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.